Welcome to EP Daily. Today on the show, we find out what's coming to Splatoon in the rundown.
Plus, Jose plays with some retro animation in the new game, Cuphead.
And then I touch down with a closer look at Madden NFL 16.
Unbelievable! He's done it again!
Also coming up, we review the new Batgirl DLC for Batman Arkham Knight, have more Bat action with the animated movie Batman vs. Robin, and much more today on EP Daily. Brought to you by EB Games. I'm your host, Marissa Roberto, bringing you the latest and everything cool every single day. Running is great for your health, but you know what's even better? The rundown. Nintendo has an inkling to deliver some new content for Splatoon. A major content update for the game is set to begin rolling out on August 5th. It will include 2 new matchmaking modes that finally allow players to set up games with just their friends, so you don't have to play with strangers. New weapons will also be added, including an ink Gatling gun and a bucket that allows you to hurl ink up at your opponents. 40 new pieces of gear will also be available, and the level cap has been increased to level 50. Best of all, the update is free for everyone who's already bought the game. Expect more new content for Splatoon to continue rolling out over the coming months. Android users won't have to wait much longer to run their own Fallout Shelter. Bethesda's radioactive mobile game will finally hit Android devices on Thursday, August 13th. It was released last month on iOS devices and allows players to run and micromanage their own vault in the Fallout universe. The Android version will include new attacks, units, and enemies to make it worth the wait. You can watch our review of the iOS version on epn.tv. Hopefully, Fallout Shelter will be enough to keep you satisfied until Fallout 4 arrives. It will go nuclear on Xbox One, PS4, and PC on November 10th.
It's good to be back.
That's it for the rundown. Now, look at us to join me. It is Mr. Scott St. Jones.
I'm
I
here
love
to
your
illuminate
salute.
and salute. That's what I'm here.
That was a nice little salute. Let's talk about Fallout Shelter because
Yes.
I'm obsessed with this game. I'm still playing it, and
Okay.
well, okay. Now I feel like I need to keep playing it on iOS because I did spend money. It's a freemium title that I spent money for, which I never do. But I loved it so much that I thought I should spend money on it.
We all know how cheap you are, yes.
Yeah, I know. We don't need to get into that now,
Well,
but
you're
it's
cheap.
true, especially for premium titles. But now Android users get to play the game as well. I'm excited for them. I'm a little jealous that they're getting different features. I'm gonna have to look into that one though. I'm not enjoying that news at all.
I think this is a terrific game. I mean, more than anything, it's a terrific advertisement for Fallout 4 that's coming later this year. And so that makes people who are fans very excited. I'm glad that Android users are finally getting to have this experience that iPhone people have been having since E3, basically.
I played it last night before I went to bed, but now I kind of just feel like I'm playing it because I spend money on it and I have to play it. Or else I would have let it go a while ago. It's just one of those management games.
It's like going to a restaurant and you have to pay for your food and you're like, I didn't really enjoy it that much, but I'll keep eating it anyway.
Because I will. That is actually something that I would do. Moving right along, let's jump into Splatoon. You know, Vic and I reviewed Splatoon. I actually don't think I've ever had a discussion with you about Splatoon. There's a new update now, but I'm just wondering how you feel about the game.
I don't know, the Wii U is in such a strange state these days. I feel like I'm rooting for it, but I'm rooting for it in the way that someone who's sick and in the hospital is going to die soon. I feel like, you know, the great games are great for the Wii U. I feel like this is a console that really never had a big moment. We have some friends who are huge Splatoon fans. They talk about it all the time.
For sure.
And now the world is getting a little bit bigger.
Yeah, sure, we're getting an update, but there's still no voice chat, which is pretty annoying. I understand why Nintendo doesn't want to do the voice chat thing, but I think it's pretty crucial. We gotta go to Jose now because he's got an interview on Cuphead.
Now, there are a lot of games out there that like to take the retro style, but this game is going way retro. Talking about Cuphead, tell me about, first off, the concept for Cuphead and why you guys decided to go with this unique art style.
Well, I mean, initially it was that we were just kind of grown up on that cartoon. And we always thought that seamlessly video games and cartoons share a unity. There's a lack of pain, an infinite depth structure that's involved in both. So when we realized that nobody has really made a truly animated game like you would a cartoon, we just decided to give it a shot.
What exactly is Cuphead? What are we doing? Why are these two characters look to me like they're in peril in this ancient-looking world?
like any 30s cartoon, all the heroes are a little bit devious or mischievous. What happened is essentially they decided to go gamble with the devil, see if they could make their lives better. But due to the fact that they fail a few times, he has basically their head, their soul, held above them. So he demands that they go out and collect the souls of the other people who owe him debts. And Cuphead and Mugman become his minions by circumstance.
How does the gameplay itself work within the game? Is this going to be sort of like I jump on your head and you die? Do I have guns? Do I have different abilities?
It's very much like Contra with a few modern tweaks. So you can aim in 8 directions, you can lock, you can dash in the air. Every weapon that you get has its own unique EX. And then you have multiple supers, so you can switch out whatever weapons you're using per boss, and you never lose them as you get hit. The parry feature is all things pink in the game. You jump again, and you can destroy any object within that motion. That also helps you gain your supers faster. So to speed up the fights, you do a little bit more risky motions to collect more meter, to put the boss down quicker. Based on the weapons you chose, based on the supers you chose, it has enough to keep people experimenting for a while.
Is this a game that is built to be played multiplayer, or is it going to be tougher if I'm playing multiplayer rather than if I'm playing single player?
It goes 50-50. So the game is always tougher on multiplayer because visually you get confused when players cross. This is not final, but what we want to do to balance that is incorporate when you die you turn into a ghost. That slap feature, the parry that destroys pink things, we want that to revive the second player. So as long as one player is alive and you catch the ghost going off the screen, they will come back in said seconds. Essentially infinite life, but that's tweakable. We might say 3 times, 4 times, 5 times.
I don't know. Just look at the game. It's one of the prettiest games I've ever seen with my eyeballs. I applaud you guys for making the attempt, making the effort to bring back that 30 style within a video game. I can't wait to play more Cuphead.
Great job, Jose. I've heard mixed things about Cuphead. Very difficult game, but how can you not be charmed by those visuals?
Don't go anywhere because after the break we've got to go long with Madden NFL 16.
What does go long mean? I do not know.
Can this be the one that changes their season?
As I get older, I've really been getting into NFL. I've been really getting into it as much as possible, but I am a baseball fan, so it's tough for me to dive into Madden. But you guys have been making it easier for fans to get into over the years, I feel. Do you feel the same way? Have you gotten more fans into the game?
There's a concerted effort on our half. Actually, Coach Madden, when we talk to him every year, he makes a point of saying, I built this franchise to teach people football. And the more people learn about the sport through this game, the happier he is. So we take that very seriously, and we built the skills trainer mode to teach you stuff. We also have in-game feedback systems to help you understand like what actions you can do at a given time. Teaching people the strategy of football is one of our paramount priorities.
Let's talk about the main thing that I think a lot of fans want to know is what's new this year, because you always have to be upping your game somehow.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of big new things this year. I think first and foremost, our new mode, Draft Champions, it's really going to appeal to people who enjoy fantasy football. It's a quick one-night experience. You get in, you do a fantasy draft, legendary players, current players, build a team, take them through a quick tournament. You can finish it in a night, and you can do it all over again. It's a great new mode. On the gameplay side of things, total overhaul this year to our wide receiver DB interactions, our passing game. We have multiplayer catch interactions. We have penalties in this year. I mean, the list is endless of the gameplay improvements, and the one I'm most proud of is organic gang tackles on defense.
He's tackled for a sack.
But let's talk about the actual fantasy gameplay here, because there's so many fantasy football players out there, so that must be a lot of pressure for you guys to get this right.
Well, interestingly enough, the thing that we think is most fun about fantasy football is the draft. So that's the piece we kind of cut out and redid ourselves. And that draft experience is really cool because you're thinking about like, well, what's my offensive style, my defensive style? And you get around where you have like a 90 rated free safety and a 90 rated quarterback. It's a really tough decision about which direction you go. and one bad decision could hamper your whole team. So it's really exciting. It's kind of nerve-wracking to make a pick, and you'll find it's kind of interesting. People's team biases come into play. Like certain Giants fans will refuse to draft any Cowboys, no matter how good they are, because they hate that team so much. So it's a really cool new mode.
That is insane, because I have to tell you that I'm a fantasy player myself, but I'm terrible at it because I never want to drop the players I need to drop and pick up the players I need to pick up.
You can win.
Dude, no. I have not won a single year yet. So, do you think that this game will help me be better in my fantasy team outside of this game? Or do I need to just play in this game and that's it?
Oh, I absolutely do. Learning to build a balanced team and making sure you don't have weaknesses at key positions, and also making sure you draft based on how you like to play, is a key to success in this mode. It's really great.
Let's talk about all the game modes that players are going to get here once they jump in.
Well, we have all our legacy modes, our CFM, you can play owner, you can play coach, you can play player. We have our skills trainer mode, our gauntlet mode. There's just an endless ways to engage with Madden and play Madden. And obviously our most popular mode is the ultimate team mode, the most competitive way to play Madden. It's just blown up over the last 3 years. It is the #1 way to play Madden right now.
Great job, Marissa. Who knew that Marissa knew so much about football? And listen, the game comes out next month.
She's a sports nut. I'm a bat nut. Here's a look at Batgirl, the new DLC for Arkham Knight.
He is a bat nut.
We are going to be checking in on all of the DLC for Arkham Knight, of course. And the first one that we're taking a look at is Batgirl, A Matter of Family.
Of course.
Of course we are. Because, I mean, Warner Brothers put the flag in the ground. They said they've got 6 months of content coming up, and we're going to give you new stuff to play in this world all the time. And they did a great job with the first game. I think all of this DLC actually has a chance to be really cool.
Oh, we love it.
What do you think about playing as Batgirl?
Well, obviously, I loved playing as Batgirl. Are you kidding me? I'm playing as Batgirl.
Yeah.
She's so badass. She can do all the things that Batman can do, almost. She just doesn't have all the gadgets that Batman has.
Yes, that's right.
Right?
Yeah, and
So-
doesn't have the connection to Alfred dropping all that stuff.
No.
But she's got this own sort of kick-ass flurry thing happening. I think that she just whips around incredibly fast,
Yeah.
and it's amazing to watch the acrobatics of her taking out everybody.
For sure. That's what I loved so much about this, that she has her own feminine flair, her own feminine style.
Yep.
We're not just stealing moves from Batman. This is her. She's doing it.
She's also an incredible hacker, and obviously evolves into our Oracle, tragically. So you do some pretty cool things with hacking. You blind some of the opponents, and you can take them down, just like the fear takedowns that you could do in Arkham Knight as Batman. You can take down the enemies by blinding them and then whipping them down to the ground super
Very cool
fast.
stuff. We should mention, though, that this is about an hour and a half experience, an hour and a half experience that you're getting for around $10 if you didn't get
the season pass.
Now, the season pass is very expensive to a lot of people, right? And so
It's
even
like $40, I think.
even to myself, like that's a huge dollar amount to drop on something like this. So you have to decide really if an hour and a half of your time, is worth that $10 price tag.
Here's the equation for me. It's like a digital action figure of Batgirl. If you like that idea, to see a fully, beautifully rendered animated model of Batgirl that you can control and play and get into some awesome fisticuffs with, alongside Robin in some key parts.
Which is really cool.
Yep.
That part I loved.
And you're hunting down the Joker, and you're fighting against Harlequin, and you're saving Commissioner Gordon. I mean, it's like paying for a mini movie in a way, or an episode of something cool like a Batgirl show, and it's also expertly rendered, and they've got this really creepy amusement park setting with lots of interesting environments to explore.
Yeah, they've always got that creepy little vibe.
It's over quickly, but I enjoyed every freaking second of this. It was so much fun.
Of course, because you feel powerful. I love that Batgirl gives you that feeling too. She gives you, like, Batman makes you feel powerful for sure, but the fact that you're playing as this woman, this very strong woman, it gets me excited, I have to say, playing a game like this with Batgirl.
We want more.
Of course we
Why
want more.
doesn't Rocksteady and Warner Brothers get together and make us separate lines? I mean, let's have a Batgirl game. Let's have a Nightwing game. Let's have a Robin game. That'd be amazing.
See, I would be totally down for that, but we do need to talk about this solitary experience. Now, this game has not been getting the greatest reviews.
Yeah.
I understand that people are disappointed with the short experience
It's
and
brief,
with the price tag.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand completely, but the game itself is very good.
Yeah.
It's a very good experience. So you just have to decide if what your time is worth.
I mean, I loved it, and I would totally spend the money to get this, whether you're getting it through the season pass or whatever, but people want to know what you think.
I love it.
Yeah.
I really do.
Okay.
I love it because I had a good time with it, but I'm also trying to balance the time versus money versus experience.
There's no leveling up. There's no, you can't switch out the model. You can't suddenly be Batgirl in the main Arkham story.
It's its own story,
Yes.
and it's completely separate from everything else. So
maybe that's one of the ways that they're going to loop it all in at the end is allow some more of this model sharing in different parts of the game, which would be incredible.
That would be really cool. Honestly, that's what would make this game for me, is if I could keep playing as Batgirl.
What are you going to give A Matter of Family?
It's still a great time. It gets an 8.
It gets an 8.5 for me. If you want more EP, go to our website, epn.tv, for bonus content and full episodes. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. Welcome back to EP Daily, fellow Batmaniacs. This is a DC animated movie that's been on our radar for a long time. We're finally reviewing it. Here's Batman vs. Robin.
You've got to stop him. You don't understand. He's part of something bigger. He's using you, Robin, to get to me.
Right. It's all about the great Batman.
Took us a while to get to this, but guess what happens after Comic-Con? You kind of miss Comic-Con, and then you start thinking about all the animated features that you watch surrounding Comic-Con, and then you're thinking, maybe I should jump into another one. This one's called Batman vs. Robin. This is out on Blu-ray.
Which looks like a typo, right?
It
How
does.
can Batman fight Robin? What's up with that?
No, I was concerned. I was genuinely concerned.
He's just a kid.
Because he is just a kid, and that's what it is. You're jumping into the story, and the kid is just a kid. But you know what? He's tough as nails because, he's been trained by the best.
Yes.
This follows the same storyline as Son of Batman.
Yep.
So we've seen that already. Now, I love Son of Batman.
Yeah, and you know what? Damian Wayne is the son of Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul's daughter. Yeah. So he comes from that lineage of assassins, is acutely aware of that whole backstory. But Bruce Wayne is in there as well to kind of inject a sense of morality. Damian Wayne is one of the greatest creations in the Batman mythology ever. I love this character. I love that this guy has been introduced because he has a real sense of menace and a real charm also, and he really keeps Batman and every other member of the Bat family on their toes, and I love this. He's such a disruptor. He's such a disruptive force.
It's true. Well, a lot of teenage angst here.
Yeah.
Really. He's a kid.
He's a preteen. He's only 10.
But he's a preteen, but he's very smart, and he's got so much skill that he feels like, you know what, why can't I play with the adults here? Because I'm even better than some of the adults that think they can kick my butt. No, I can kick their butt, so I'm going to get out there and I'm going to do my own thing.
You're sloppy.
No, I'm uninterested.
Batman is trying to keep his thumb on him, though, because he's a father for the first time here. He's not really sure what to do. So it's more like Batman versus Robin on that scale. And then there's also another underlying story here where we see Batman and Robin have to go toe-to-toe for a moment. But it's mostly all mental, though. It's mostly all, do I want to respect this man as my father? Can I trust this boy as my son? All of these things. So we're seeing a lot of a family dynamic here, which really pulled me in.
Damian Wayne has to show restraint. His natural inclination is to just kill all of the bad guys that they go up against. And Batman is constantly training him to, no, you can't go that far. But Damian Wayne is introduced to the Court of Owls, led by a guy named Talon, who was created by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo with their Court of Owls arc that went into the New 52 Batman. And I read all that stuff, loved it, thought that was awesome.
Imagine how deeply we can hurt the Batman, break his heart and his will by killing this boy.
No, he's supposed to take my place in the ritual.
You lied to me. Batman was right. You were just using me to...
Shut up, shut up!
And Scott Snyder, by the way, is also one of the best things to happen to Batman in a very long time. And I think it was great the way that all of these different disparate elements have been interwoven into a very tight movie here. Plus, Dick Grayson is in this as well.
Plus
you know, the original Robin, who is now Nightwing, and that's a great performance as well.
And they go toe-to-toe as well, Robin on Robin. That was pretty cool. Honestly, this is a really cool thing. The box set that we got, that I think you can purchase as well, comes with a little Batman that I know Victor Lucas loves.
And you know what? We've been so busy, I didn't even see this. I love Son of Batman. We reviewed that together. I'd never seen this until we got this just after Comic-Con, and I'm ashamed that I hadn't seen this because this is for Bat fans out there, big time.
It really,
what are you gonna
really
give
is.
Batman versus Robin?
It's an 8.5.
Yeah, it gets a 9 from me. Great movie. Bravo, Warner Brothers Animation. Keep them coming. Stick around. We've got the Twitter question of the day after the break.
Welcome back to EP Daily. It is now time for the best part of today's show and every show. It is the Twitter question of the day. This one comes from Ryan. He is at McBain403, I guess.
402, taken.
I guess so. This one is specifically for Scott C. Jones.
Okay, I'm ready.
Seriously, how the F do I beat the first bad guy in Bloodborne? Excellent question,
Ryan, put your seatbelt on. I'm about to drop some serious knowledge in your general vicinity. Listen, Bloodborne is not for people who have thin skin. You got to get in there. You got to be persistent. You got to put on not 2 pairs of underwear when you play this game, but go ahead and just put 3 on because you're going to go through all 3 and you're probably going to have some problems. But you have to get in there. You have to learn how to work those Molotov cocktails. Get in there, work them, keep hurling those Molotov cocktails at that boss. He looks like a huge tornado with tentacles coming out of it. And let me tell you something. He is the most mildest, friendliest looking boss in the entire game.
Oh, no.
So you put on 2 seatbelts, not 1, 2.
Oh,
you're going to need them.
All
You can do it, though.
For more tips and tricks on how to beat bosses in video games, you can head on over to EVN.TV. Scott's got some good ones there.
I do. And listen, we've got some really cool stuff to share with you in tomorrow's episode, including some new indie games for ID at Xbox. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye.
EP would like to thank its sponsors, Nintendo, Xbox. EP's mobile coverage is brought to you by Gameloft, makers of Asphalt 8 Airborne, which you can play on your Android or iOS device for free right now.
We are talking about Super Dungeon Bros. First off, probably the greatest name I've ever heard in a video game. What is going to make this the best brotastic game I've ever played?
It's going to be about co-op. It's a co-op 4-player action RPG brawler. The fun of Castle Crashers, Gauntlet, even old school games like the Simpsons arcade game get that co-op action.
I know you're trying to collect the loot and trying to maybe steal it from each other, but is there going to be some cooperation between these bros? Can I do something together with my bros that might make it super bro awesomeness?
Oh yeah, we'll have kind of co-op attacks. We'll have bro supers where all 4 bros can combine into a bro-nado.
He said bro-nado. I want to be a part of the bro-nado movie. When that thing happens, hopefully the Super Dungeon Bros will be involved.